Hey everybody, it's Kyla at the MJC again, and I am back to walk you guys through sections A and B of the petition with minor children, the Divorce Part 1 petition with minor children. But before we get started on that, as always, I just want to remind you guys that nothing in these videos is intended to be legal advice. It's a video, so I'm not able to analyze your specific situation to determine whether a divorce is in your best interest, to determine whether this is the right timing, to figure out what you should ask for, or whether what you're asking for will be approved by a court, or anything like that. So if you have those sorts of questions, I would definitely recommend some legal advice. You can get brief legal advice for free here in Milwaukee through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. Or if you're not located in Milwaukee, you can contact your clerk of court to find out what resources are available for people who are representing themselves in your area. All right, so we are back filling out that divorce petition with minor children. And so here we're going to fill out sections A and B. And as with most things on this form, they're asking things you know the answer to in a bit of a confusing way. So section A is talking about you. So all of this information will be about you. First, you're going to put your birthday here. So again, John will put his birthday because he is our sample person. For number 2, it wants to know if you have lived in the county where you plan to file for at least the last 30 days right before you file. So if I am going to file today on April 20th, of 2020, I would look and say, have I lived in Milwaukee County for the last 30 days? So count back 30 days. Have I lived in Milwaukee County for those 30 days? In our situation, John has lived in Milwaukee County for the last 30 days. And then number 3 wants to know, have you lived in the state of Wisconsin for the last 6 months? And same thing, it's looking at immediately before filing this petition. So if you looked back from the day you filed back 6 months, have you lived in the state of Wisconsin for those 6 months? So again, John would say yes to that. Number 4 wants to know if you are active duty military. So if you are active duty, you would check yes. If you aren't, you would check no. So we'll check no because John is not active duty military. And then it wants to know if you are currently pregnant. John is not currently pregnant, so we'll go ahead and check no there as well. Under B, you're going to answer the same questions, but you're going to answer them about your spouse. And so the question would be, what is Jane's birthday? And so we can fill that in right here. And some people will say, well, I haven't seen my ex in a long time. I don't know their birthday. You want to put as much as you know. So we would recommend getting that information, seeing if you can find it anywhere. Is it on an old calendar? Do you have an old date stamped photo? Would your mom remember? Do you have anyone you know who might know that day? But if you're not able to get it, you need to put as much information as you can. So if you remember it was January of 1980, but you don't remember the day, then still, go ahead and put, January of 1980. So put as much information as you can, and you're going to want to put your best guess. So some people will say, well, I think it might be January 3rd, but I can't remember. I'm not certain. As long as you think it is more likely than not that is correct, you can go ahead and put that information here. Because again, you're just putting that this is what you believe to the best of your knowledge, this is right. Under 2, same question as it asked for you. Has your spouse lived in this county for 30 days or more? So for the last 30 days or more. So in our situation, Jane has lived here for the last 30 days. Number 3, just like we were asking up here, it wants to know, has your spouse lived in the state of Wisconsin for at least the last 6 months going back? And so again, you'll check yes if they have lived in the state, no if they haven't. So we'll say here that Jane used to live in Chicago and she moved up to Wisconsin from Illinois less than 6 months ago. So she has not been here for the last 6 months. Number 4, again, wants to know, is your spouse active duty in the military? And we'll say no. And then last but not least, it wants to know if, to the best of your knowledge, your spouse is currently pregnant. And again, Jane is not currently pregnant, so I'll check no here. And just a note on that last one, again, it's to the best of your knowledge. And you'll check yes or no regardless of whether the child is your spouse's. So if Jane is currently pregnant, if we had checked yes instead, we would check that even if the child she is pregnant with isn't her husband's. So just something to be aware of there. All right, well, that is all for sections A and B. I will be back shortly to go through the other sections in this petition, but that is all for now. Thank you guys for listening today. I hope that you found this helpful. If you still have questions about these sections or about divorce in general, you can come visit us at our courthouse location. We're located in room G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Otherwise, that's all for this one. Thank you guys again for listening, and go out and represent yourselves well.